Hello and welcome to the Bridge TV YouTube channel. First of all, I want to thank all of you for all the incredible feedback we got from the first episode where we had a talk with Dennis Bilde. It's been really overwhelming. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, please type them below, or you can send us an email at this email address right down here somewhere. It could be if you have a great bridge story, a great board, or something else you would like to share. In this episode, we have a talk with a professional bridge player and bridge detective Boye Brogeland from Norway. As you might know, he was the lead detective in the cheating scandal hitting the bridge world 5-6 years ago. We have a talk with Boye about that, of course, and also how life is as a professional bridge player with kids and a family, all the travel and stuff around that. So please enjoy my conversation with Boye Brogeland. Okay, welcome Boye Brogeland. Thank you for taking the time to joining the Bridge TV channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jakob.
My pleasure. Boye, you probably don't need an introduction in the bridge world because you've been around for so many years. When I was doing my research, I read that you started playing bridge when you were like 8 years old, something like that.
Yeah, that's correct. I started with my grandparents, actually. So I spent a lot of time with my grandparents and we played different games. But
Yeah,
I think it was at the age of 8 that they introduced me to bridge.
yeah.
And I fell in love, I must say, just immediately. So after that, I went to them as much as I could and I played as much bridge as I could.
Okay, and you've been a professional bridge player since you were 19, 20, around that age.
Well, not quite, I would say. I played the first like really big professional gig I had was back in 2001 with
Hmm.
the redistributed. Well, we did a little bit before that. That was like just we went over to the US, but it was more or less just paid for air travel and for a room there. So
Yeah,
the
okay.
first time where I really when I got paid like a professional was in 2001. So I've done it for 20 years, played professional for 20 years, but I've done bridge a little bit more, I would say, because
Hmm.
I also did a bridge magazine that I started with back in 1998.
Yeah, and you still do that bridge in Norway, right?
Yes, so I've been the editor now for more than 20 years.
Hmm.
Mm.
And in your career, Boy, it's you won like everything. You won several nationals, including the Spingo, the Reisinger. You won Bermuda Bowl with Norway, and you
Yeah,
had
we won the Bermuda Bowl in 2007. That was great. That was like a big goal, like for all the players there. It was at that time it was Helge Mohelnes and yeah, I played with Erik Selensminde and it was Tundal and Grotheim. So they we had all we'd all been around for a while, and back in 2001 we lost to the USA
yeah,
in the final in Paris.
yeah.
So it was great, and we also played against not the same team, but we played against the USA also in 2007, and
Uh huh.
that was in Shanghai in China. So that was a great win for us.
Of course it was, and also a lot of European championships, junior world championships. Does any of your victories like stand out as the one with the best memories or whatever?
Yeah, of course, like when winning the world, like the Bermuda Bowl back in 2007, that's very high up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And but I would say that maybe the best one in a way was back in like the year after in 2008, because at that time I just started, like after when we won the world championships in 2007. Eric Salmsman and myself, we split up. Like our partnership then had lasted for 15 years,
Hmm.
but I thought at that point we didn't play as much together anymore, so it didn't feel like we got better, but we still like we hang in there. We played for Norway, so finishing it off with winning the Bermuda Bowl, it felt that felt good, and it felt right in a way to
Yeah, of course.
to stop the partnership at that time. And then I started a new partnership with Espen Lindqvist the year after. So this was more or less almost our first tournament together. We started
Uh,
I think, in March, and this tournament was in June, the European Championships. And we won, like Italy had won, I think, for 6 or 7 consecutive years.
mm.
So for them playing with a new team, and yeah, we didn't. Well, we maybe had hoped, but I think when people looked at the Norwegian team at that point, they would say, well, they would probably not have a chance.
Hmm.
But it was really tight that year back in 2008. I think also Denmark. We played Denmark in the very last match.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we beat them 24-6 if I remember rightly. But there were quite a few teams that could win it.
Yeah.
But because of our like big victory in the last match against Denmark, I think Denmark was also among the teams that had a really good championship. So that was incredible, winning it in the last match in a total new partnership.
Of
And
course.
also we won the Butler, that we really felt that
Oh.
we contributed to the Norwegian victory.
Yeah, I understand. How hard is that on an elite level to change partner? How much work do you have to put into it according to your bidding systems, whatever?
Well, it depends, of course. If you come from well, I would say if you come from a similar like thought process, if you think like similar about system, if you like, I would say if you have like two strong players that maybe have played a little bit different system and they both want to do their own things,
Mm.
I think that will take a long time. I've been in a way lucky in both my partnerships in a way that we kind of when I started playing with Eric Salzman, it was mainly him, I would say, that decided which system from the start we would play, and because he was the older one and I came in and tried to do what he wanted to do. And I think with Espen it was the other way around, that I came in and I started playing the transfer system at that point, like transfer over a club, which I hadn't done before.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that we played when I played with Espen was that I brought with me from my former partnerships and stuff I had picked up maybe from like Zia Mahmoud has taught me a lot of things like system things, and he was fine with that. So I think it depends a lot. If you both go in there and think, okay, one guy in the partnership more or less decides to set it up, and we just stick to that. That's much easier than if you go into and everybody wants their own stuff, and you have like it's hard to tell. But like in that, we as I said, we succeeded after 3 months, which I would think was not very very normal. So sometimes it can go well when you decide, okay, we just decide this is how we do it, then we both accept that.
Yeah.
But I think for another situation, it could take years until you find a system or agreements that you both are comfortable with.
Yeah, because when you're a hobby bridge player like I am, for instance, I think a lot of how can I say, normal club players, they put too much effort into the system actually, and they use so much time arguing if you play this or that, instead of concentrating on taking some tricks. But I guess that might be the difference between a club player and an elite player, because you have so much control when you're when you're a declarer and stuff like that. So it's
but players are different. If you think about like Helge Mohelnes, who are a pair that's been on the top for almost like for 30 years almost.
Yeah.
And they've had very little agreements. I guess they put on a bit now after when they played for Monaco and they were more coaching and things. But they are one of the pairs that had like the least system.
Yeah.
So there are different. Some people are fine with that, happy with that. I must say that I'm more comfortable when we have our system. But it's very important to write it down, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is what some pairs do wrongly. Maybe they decide, okay, next time we'll do it like that, but they don't really put it down on paper.
And I guess that's a good advice, no matter what level you're actually playing at.
Absolutely, I would say it's better to maybe have a bit fewer agreements, but definitely put them down so both players in the partnership really know, okay, that's how we play.
Yeah.
And of course, when you play professionally or you play on the highest level, it's more normal to have like lots of pages that you put down and both players read those pages. But at least you agree what you have, and you know that if it's not within the system, you would have to follow like just basic principles.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important to have like, you know what you have, and you know where you don't have it.
Yeah.
And both players know that. So and there's a lot different. If you see like Meckwell, like Mexter and Rodwell, for example, they would have like hundreds of pages.
Mm.
But of course, they've done this like year after year after year. So I guess that most of those pages they know by heart.
Yeah, of course.
And some things they would have to read and to go over again and again if they put on new stuff. So we have some, I think it's like 140 pages I have with my partner now, and a lot of these things are just situations almost that we put down on paper so we would know them even if we don't have them there. But it's really good to know, I think.
Yeah.
So you have when you read through the system, you know that your partner has read the same thing, so you feel more comfortable at the table because you know you don't have to guess. Maybe not. My partner will remember that. You just know that we both.
That's what we agreed upon. Yeah.
So that's a big thing, and I think that's been really good for us. But I think this is more like the limit. I don't want to have more system than we have now put down. But at the same time, it's good to have those really solid agreements that you know your partner remember and you remember yourself.
Okay, Boye. So you as we started out talking about, you won almost anything. Is there anything you haven't won that you really are motivated to get a win?
Yeah, there were actually one tournament that we did win now recently. The spring foursomes in England.
Okay.
That tournament is played normally in Stratford upon Avon in England.
Yeah.
Where Shakespeare was born.
Yeah.
This is played there every year, like the first weekend of May, like it's April, May. And I think I played my first tournament there back in 2002. So I played for more like for 20 years there, and I hadn't won it yet. But now when it turned online, like when it was played online this year, we actually won that tournament. So that was in the beginning of just like 2 weeks ago.
Is that the same feeling? Do you get the same feeling for an online tournament?
Not quite, I would say. But I was really happy to win because it's probably been because it was online. It was probably the strongest feel ever. Because a lot of like foreign players they wouldn't go there normally.
Yeah, of course.
I think it probably was the all-time strong feel there, and so it was a great win. And we used this is what I actually experienced it's a good thing with the online thing. We use Zoom like before the matches to go in and talk to our teammates. Yeah. And it feels more real than if you just turn on your computer and sit down and you have teammates, but you don't really communicate with them.
Yeah.
But that I would say has helped us. So that's something we've done on the Gillis team. Simon Gillis, that was my sponsor for that one. That's something that we've done for that team, that we actually met up on Zoom, have gone through hands, and it has felt more like a normal tournament rather than the one where you just turn on your computer, you play and you turn it off, and you just go back the next day. So that's one tournament that I said that we just won, that we tried for 20 years and we haven't won. If I'm going to say one more, it's probably the Norwegian Pairs Championship.
Okay.
So I have a silver there, but I played very few tournaments, played very few of those over the years, normally because it collided with the nationals in the USA. So I think I got a silver back in 1996. So that was
so it's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. I've never won it. So that's the best I've done in that. I think that's the only tournament. If you say, give me a couple of tournaments that you haven't won, that I think the one I won this year, and the second one maybe you can win sometime in the future.
So how does Boye Brogeland keep his motivation up? I mean, you've won almost anything except the Norwegian Pairs, and you see it in other sports, like people, they get kind of tired, they get full, so the motivation might drop a little bit. How do you work on that?
I haven't had to work so hard on that because I've been lucky, the way that it's for me, bridge is just always been just a lot of fun. It's always been competition. I never treated it as work, I would say.
No.
It's always been just going to tournaments, trying to do your best, and it's been a big bonus that some people have been willing to pay me to do what I love the most.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit that I never thought of it as work. It's just, for me, it's still kind of a hobby. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
most fun thing I do.
Yeah.
So, but I guess it's been a bit harder here with COVID the last, because it's when I can go to a tournament and it's only that tournament, so you forget everything else. You just bring your system notes and you go there and you eat and you sleep and you play and you discuss bridge. For me, that's it's so much. I couldn't think about anything like more fun to do than just go away and just focus maximum on.
So you're in that bubble, right? The bridge
Yeah,
bubble.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
that bubble, and I love that. It's like it's a lot of. I know a lot of people when they go away, you miss your family and you miss this or that, but for me that's never been a problem. I think when I go away for 2 weeks, I know I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, and it's only bridge for me.
Yeah.
So and I've been. I think that's one of the keys. I think why every time I go away, I'm really. I'm really motivated. I'm really geared to go there. I love competing. I love to play at the highest level. So it's been harder, I would say, the last year or so, when you go into it. You have your normal job in daytime. I make my bridge magazine, and you have your family, and you have like everything. It's harder to really to get into that bubble that I think definitely I need to play my best. So I really feel that I haven't played. Even if I try, you feel you're trying, but at the same time, you don't really, you sense that you don't really play as well as you would like to do.
Does that mean that if you ever wake up, if you wake up in 10 years one morning and you feel like, okay, this is not as fun as it used to be, so you would actually consider doing something else than playing bridge for a living?
Yeah, I think that would be. I think that would be very hard. I think that when you played bridge and been privileged, I think I forget in a way how lucky I've been, how I can do what I love the most, and travel the world and all of these things and just play bridge. So it's hard for me to see they would do something else, but it's at the same time I would say if I wake up and I don't have the same motivation, and you sense that you don't play as well as you would like to do, it would also be tough to go to these tournaments, because you don't really I wouldn't enjoy it as much. If I can't play my best, if I can't really compete at that level that I've been competing at for 25 years, it wouldn't be as fun. At that point I would think I would more consider it as a job and say, okay, I'll go away and this is what I do for a living.
Yeah.
But this, up till this point, I must say I've never thought of it that way. It's always been just lots of fun, looking forward to the next tournament and see like if I'm still at that level that I would like to be at. And I must say up till this point I've succeeded with that, and so it's just been a lot of fun. So hopefully that day won't come too soon.
Hopefully it will stay that way. Yeah.
Let's hope it stay like, at least for some. You can see some of the players, like for example, I spent quite a bit of time with Zia Mahmood. Last we got to know each other. Our kids have also got to know each other, and we've been to tournaments together.
Yeah.
And he's probably mid-70s.
Yeah.
And he still have the same hunger.
Yeah.
So I think, and also Bob Hammond, for example, he's in his 80s.
Yeah.
And he still does very well, even on online bridge. He's been winning online bridge tournaments.
Yeah.
So you have some of these people that they just love the game.
Yeah.
It is nothing. It's they don't treat it as work. It's just the game is always the focus. So hopefully
And these guys, I have a feeling that no matter how many world championships you won, if you keep finding it fun and you kind of work on your motivation like that, you can always improve your game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You never there are always stuff to learn in bridge, even how much you know it. There are always stuff you can pick up. There's just you can maybe learn a new convention that you see that will work well, or there's always stuff that you can do.
Yeah. And also the bidding is not like it was like back in the 80s, 70s. It's more aggressive now, I guess, than it used to be. So the game itself develops.
Yeah, and people have picked up. I think this is also because of online bridge and BBO, that people have seen how the best players play. so they have adopted things themselves. So the game has definitely moved on. There are a lot more people that play well, I would say, and know a lot of stuff today than there were if you go back 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So you have a lot more players who can compete at a high level today.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with online bridge and BBO, that it's actually much easier today to watch the best players and know what they do, and you can see that, oh, maybe I can do the same. Maybe I can even do a little bit better. So it's so today there's a lot more potential, I would say, for people that really want to get good at bridge. It's easier today to get, because it's also easy to play a lot of bridge at a high level.
So, Boye, you mentioned the traveling around the world, and I wanted to ask you. Okay, you're a father, you are a husband. How does the professional bridge life, with all the traveling, with all the online bridge in the strange hours of the day, how does that? How do you make that fit in a family life?
Well, I would say when I travel the world, I would say it's a little bit you switch on and off.
Yeah.
For me, and I have a wife that's been really good. She I think she even prefers that I sometimes it takes a couple of weeks off. It probably it's.
So it's healthy for the relationship. We should all do that some way. Yeah.
I think that could be almost a good thing, and it's so I would say that for me, when I'm away, I'm away. I'm playing bridge, and as I mentioned before, it's, to me, that hasn't been a problem, because I go into that kind of the bubble in a way. I just play bridge. I don't really think and care about so much else. But of course, when I'm at home, it's more difficult, because with my bridge magazine, and if you think now, the last year, with also a lot of online bridge at the same time, it's very hard to find the time really that you would like to spend with your family and have time together. So I would say it's much more challenging in a way, the way it's been the last year compared to when I traveled. I would say traveling, it's because when you're away, and Tonya, my wife, just sorts out with the kids, and when I'm back home, I have more time in a way also to do stuff with my family. Even if I work a lot with my bridge magazine too, but now it's like it's double up. It's both bridge magazine and playing from home and family, and so so for me, I would say it's been
more distractions, right? More distractions when you're at home. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's been harder, I would say, with this COVID, like combining family and with my bridge magazine that I do in the days, and also because also these tournaments are in the evening. You start maybe 4 o'clock, or you start 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and you play until almost midnight.
Yeah.
So
that's the middle of dinner and kids needing attention and stuff like that.
So that combination has not been great. So I would also hope for, like, when COVID hopefully is over and get back to normal life, I would think that's a good thing for family life too, actually, to go back to the normal routine with traveling. When you're away, and when you're back home, you get more time for family.
Yeah. I was thinking, in 2 minutes we're gonna take a short break. But before we do that, I wanted to ask you one final question in this area. It's if a hobby player like me, I really enjoy playing against people that's much better than me. And I mean, if I were to sit down at a bridge table playing against you, that would be like taking a golf round with Tiger Woods or something like that. You can kind of compare that. So where would you say that a normal hobby bridge player like me should go to get that opportunity? Are there tournaments that are more suited for this kind of, I guess you can call it more social play in some ways?
Yeah. There are a few, like there are some. If you want to combine it with, say, having a good time and having some more time to do other stuff than just bridge, for example, you have bridge festivals in France, for example, where they play on like around 30 boards a day, and those, I think, can work quite well for that purpose. You can go there, you can play against famous players, and at the same time you play only 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
So you would have time to do other stuff and to do sightseeing and whatever you want to do. So those tournament works well if you want to combine it to having maybe a holiday combined with playing bridge, and also playing bridge against top players.
Yeah.
If you want to focus more on the bridge, I would say, and that's the main focus. I want to play in a tough tournament. I want to play against. Then you could go to the Open Championships.
Yeah.
You have European Open Championships, and you have the World Bridge Series. It's called. That's the Open World Championships.
Yeah.
So like as long as you're like in good standing, as they say, with your bridge federation, everybody can participate in those events.
Mm-hmm.
So you, of course, if you're a hobby player, you would just have to be prepared that you won't score that well.
No, that's fine. I'm used to that.
but at least you get to as you say, at least you get to go around, or actually many rounds with Tiger Woods and the like, if you're a golf player, because all the top players really go to these open events because they are sponsored to go there. So that's where kind of the big money is. And also I would recommend the Nationals in the USA.
Yeah.
So they go, like, you have there, you can see if there's some maybe certain cities you would like to go to, or areas that you would like to go to, because they change their like cities where they have their tournaments. So I think for many years going forward, they know where the tournaments are supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you can go in and check that, and so that's like 10 days where you can play against top opponents if you would like to,
and take a few days off and do other stuff as well.
Absolutely.
But I would recommend everyone to do these kind of things, because I think it's such a great experience, and of course you won't score well. That's kind of that's okay. So I remember the first time I were to play against some of the Danish players from the national team and stuff like that. I was shaking. I felt like they could see my cards on the other side, you know. And so you do that 1 or 2 times, and then it's just bridge, right? And it's just
absolutely. They just play very well, but they also aces takes tricks against also the top.
Exactly.
Top
Exactly.
So it's one shouldn't be too. I think one shouldn't be too afraid. It's just to embrace the opportunity. Really, that bridge is one of the few games that you can play against the very best players in the world, if you would like.
I never got to play against Messi and Ronaldo in soccer, so I guess I can play against Boye in bridge someday. That would be nice. Okay, Boye, we'll take a short break and then we will be right back.
Yeah, thanks. Good.
Hey Boye, how are you? This is Dennis Bilder from Denmark. And I just wanted to thank you for the big work you've put into cleaning our beautiful game. I think it's very important to have people like you who put a lot of time and effort into doing what they believe is the right thing. And I definitely agree with you that the right thing for our game is to play it the way it should be played. Clean, according to the rules, with no cheating going on. I'm one of many who are very happy and very grateful for what you've done. So please keep up the good work. We're all cheering for you. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, Boye, we are back. Back in 2015, the world was kind of the bridge world anyway, were a little bit in shock. I guess most of the viewers on this channel have heard about all the cheating going on in the bridge world, and you were kind of I don't know what to call it, the lead detective in this. Could you give us the short version, just a short version of how that kind of started?
Well, there were a few pairs that was rumored around that time, back in 2015. A few pairs that had done very, very well for some for many years and some for a few years. and one of those pairs that was rumored, that was Fischer and Schwartz from Israel.
Yeah.
And these guys had been my teammates.
Yeah.
For a couple of years in the US, and we had won like big tournaments with them. We were probably the team that did the best for those couple of years, but they were a rumored pair. And I must say I didn't like that at all, that so many people thought that they were cheating, like, because sometimes, well, quite often when those rumors are there, there's very often there is something there. So, but I have to admit, I didn't see much when I was their teammates. I didn't see much, but I saw a few hands actually where we lost imps that I thought were like, it was not logical what they had done. But we lost points on the hands. But at the same time, because I asked them, why did you do that and why did you do this? Because it seemed I would have done different, and I would not have lost imps on the one. And the responses they gave me was a bit. This a bit sounds a bit fishy.
Okay.
I was happy then when they stopped playing in our team. This was the Schwartz team in the USA. So after a couple of years, they went then to the Kane team, which is a not like profile team that where Jimmy Kane was the sponsor. And we happened to meet them in the quarterfinal in the Summer Nationals in Chicago in 2015. And I didn't think of it as anything more than just a normal match. So, and we played them, and then we won by 1 imp.
Okay.
Which is like, yeah, as you know, it's like basketball scores in bridge.
Yeah.
For these matches. So it's like a very
close. Yeah.
Yeah, we won by 1 imp. But then they had one hand that they had appealed. Yeah. And they won that appeal. Okay. And they gained 2 imps from that appeal. Yeah. So then we lost by 1 imp. So that's one of the worst losses I've had in my in my life. It was like we played our hearts out, and it's just and then we thought this, and also we thought it was an unreasonable appeal. Okay. But we didn't think so much more about that, so went back to bed, and I didn't sleep so much that night because of that loss. Yeah. And I went up in the morning and I started watching some hands because it had been on BBO, so I could watch the other table. And suddenly I just saw like a couple of I saw a lead. And I also saw a hand that had to be claimed, like, because it was a flat hand. But we should have gained, like, depending on what had happened, we should have gained an imp. So this is what kind of started. It was just strange what had happened. Okay. And that's the way it started. And then I met someone else. Oh, did you see how they cheated you on that hand yesterday? They told me, no, I didn't know that. So lots of things just happened in a very short period of time. Yeah. And it convinced me, looking at these hands, and also because I spoke to these players the day after. Okay. And just speaking to him, knowing how good a player, like especially Lowton Fisher, how good a player he was. Yeah. It was just what he told me was it just didn't make sense, and also it went back to those couple of hands that I had when I played with them as teammates. Yeah. Okay. So when I put everything together, it felt like me that this is
something fishy. Yeah.
Something fishy is going on. These guys have some information that they're not supposed to have. How they have it, I don't know. No. And so when I went back home to Norway, I decided we have to try and do something this. And the World Championship was coming up in 1 month. Yeah. So, and this is how it kind of started, and we started looking at videos.
Yeah, I guess it must have been hundreds of hours of videos.
Oh, I guess. I can't even imagine how many. Like I would say, probably more than just in the hundreds. It was thousands. It was incredible. But I didn't do so much of that. But other people watched with videos. Yeah. And after a while, like after some weeks, Per-Ola Kulin from Sweden, he found a code. Yeah. That he saw on videos, and he saw what they had been doing to help each other with the lead. It was where they placed the bidding. No, not the bidding. Where you have the cards. Yeah. So that where they placed that said something on what lead they wanted. So that's how they helped each other. They placed in certain directions and certain places at the table to help partner, to give partner some help with what you wanted to have led.
And so then the snowball kind of rolled, right?
Correct.
And that was one pair, and then there become you kind of looked into other pairs too.
yeah, then people saw and people realized what, and people also saw that now because I dared to come out. This is also like people have talked about this, I think, for many years.
Yeah.
I didn't know so much at all, but other people had talked a lot about it. But it was what I did in a way was daring to come out with
Yeah.
this information.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think when people saw that, also more people started looking at other pairs. And the next pair that people found, this was Mikey Mevius from a woman from the Netherlands. That she saw that Fantonia Nunes was very strange the way they put their cards.
Yeah.
So when they put it horizontally, they had a certain holding, and when they put it vertically, they had a certain holding. So she went through that. She said, I don't know how much they gained from this, but this is clearly they do it this way.
Yeah.
So that was another code that was fun, and that was the number 1 and number 2 player in the world.
Yeah.
At that point.
Boy, the Brits world is kind of small, right?
Absolutely.
In my country, the Brits players kind of know each other, and I assume that's the same thing at your level when you travel around to different tournaments. You kind of play against the same players. You have a lot of friends in the Brits environment.
Absolutely.
How did you feel about this? How did you feel when you kind of went public with this?
This was very tough. This was because these were my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were people that I have gone out with to dinner with, and and people I've been traveling with. People I've, like, for example, Fantoni. He organized. I played in Italy. I played in the same team as Fantonia Nunes down in Italy on the Angelini team. I played with the sponsor himself, Angelini. So of course I had a lot of history with these people, and that was difficult because you know that by going out like I did, you take away their livelihood, like they're living in a way. So it is very difficult. At the same time, I couldn't accept. I couldn't not do it. Like, just to accept that these guys were cheating and not say anything, because for me that would be even tougher. I would just, to me, what's the point in playing bridge if you know that people around you that they're cheating and you're just letting them do it because you don't dare to go out against. So for me, even if it was, of course, it was incredibly tough to go out against people that you know and like ruining their life because they couldn't go on doing the living as they had been doing. So that was really, really, really tough. But at the same time, it would have been. It felt even worse for me not do anything. So for me, there wasn't really an alternative. After a while, when I decided that there's no alternative really for me not to do it. If I wouldn't, I could just give up bridge. I could just stop playing bridge, because otherwise, what's the point? At that point, then it will just, as I said, then it will just become a job. I show up and I get my money, but you know you can't win. You can't compete against these players because they have so much more information illegally than it's possible to get legally.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy you say that, because one thing I've been wondering is, I talked on the previous show on this channel. I talked with Dennis Bilde, and we talked a little bit about how he's such a nice guy, right? And he's also a very nice guy when he plays bridge. And I've been thinking, would you be more if you're a nice guy at the bridge table, maybe you wouldn't be looked at when it comes to cheating. Maybe you would be looked more at if you were one of the bridge players that were kind of more not so nice to your opponent, stuff like that.
Sure.
Do you get my point? I don't know really how to ask the question, but do you get the point?
I get the point. Yeah, for some people that are very likable or liked in the, I guess it's the same thing. You don't want to believe that they can be cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, the guy you don't like, of course, that guy might be doing so. So of course, that's normal, I guess. That if you liked in the bridge community, it will maybe be easier to get away in a way than if you're not liked. So absolutely, and I think that some of these, they were very well liked.
Yeah.
Like Fantonia Nunes were very well liked, especially in some circles. So it's that maybe that was one of the reasons why they could go on for so for so many years without being detected. I don't know. It's a bit sad though that bridge with the cheating in bridge, the problem is that the game is so easy in a way to cheat in. This is so it's you really very much down to people being ethical in a way at the table in a way. Because if people really decide that they want to take advantages and to cheat, it's very, very difficult to stop.
And I guess that's also in all levels of bridge. I mean, in some normal bridge club, some people might even not be aware of that they are actually cheating, right? And if, but what kind of consequences did this have on your personal life? It must have been hard in some ways.
Yeah, I would say that I had because it's quite similar to what happened in 2015. Like I worked so much with this, like for almost like half a year, that it was the only thing that I thought about. It was the only thing that I wanted to solve in a way, of course. And this was really problematic. Like if you compare to my family, like I was not a good father. I was not a good husband. I was all in trying to do something with this, and this took like a monumental amount of time.
Yeah.
In that period. So I would say the year after, in 2016, was tough. Also, it was just like it's hard to put the finger on what it really was, but it just felt different.
Yeah.
I guess when you put your all into something for such a long time, I think it's just maybe a normal reaction you have that after that, when you're going to try to get back to normal, it's just things are not working as well. Your mind is not working. Your head is just not working as well as it should be. Something is just it's hard to put the finger on it. It's just you can feel that you're not in your normal state of mind. And I would say a similar thing happened because last year with online cheating.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
Yeah, like what happened last year is but then at least we were a bigger group of people. We also lots of people helped me back in 2015. But when I started, it felt like a little bit like I went out on my own.
Yeah.
But last year at least we had like a group of people that worked together trying to combat online cheating. But also that took a lot of time, and I really put everything into it. So I have a little bit similar feeling this year as I had in 2016, that it takes a while before you get back to your normal feeling and normal. So there's something as I say, it's hard to put the thing. What is it really? But it's tricky. It's so I hope that by the end of the year or something like that I feel a bit more in normal state of mind. So
how do you feel about that? Okay, so back in 15, 16, these pairs were kind of busted for cheating, right? So they got banned in different ways, and I guess we were all kind of okay. That was the cleanup. That was some examples were set, and I guess that maybe if it has been going on for many years, maybe pairs considering starting to cheat would maybe not do it, and then we were all kind of happy, and then COVID-19 came around, and online bridge were on the agenda, and then a lot of cheating again. I mean, how do you feel about that?
I think just cheating in general is just sad, but it's something, as I say, with bridge as a game, it's a game that is very hard to avoid it. So when it's down to it's really down to people, it's down to all the players really, how they want to play the game and what they allow themselves to do. So I just think it's very sad because it totally destroys the game, and it's not like I called it even back in 2015. I called it, it's like the doping of bridge in a way.
Yeah.
But with doping, I would say you can't get the advantages that by cheating in bridge you get a lot more advantages than by doping in sports, in my view. So it's what can you do? You just have to try and fight it, and hopefully more people will be, because they can see that something can happen. I think that's what people thought back in 2015, that they could do whatever they want to do. This never gets But with online bridge, that people realize that you can actually be found out if you cheat online also. So I think we we just have to try and do it. But what I don't like, of course, and what's also sad thing is that I feel that the federations, the organizations, the British organizations have not been willing enough to really try and help the game in a way.
Okay.
So if we had better organizations, especially on the top level, I would say, I think that if you go to the Danish Federation, Norwegian Federation, and like the smaller federations in a way, they try their best. But I miss from the World Bridge Federation, the European Bridge Federation. They, in my view, should have done more to secure an even level playing field.
Okay.
So because it was really like when this started, when everything went online, it was really what we were saying. Like it was really Texas. It was like it was
the Wild West.
It was every man for himself. Every woman for herself, really, and it's. So luckily, I would say we got to do something last year. So and I think that helped a lot, especially for the main events that I've been playing in. I think it's a lot bit. The situation now is a lot better than it was if you go back 1 year.
Mm-hmm. How do you see the future of bridge? I mean, you think we can look into a future without cheating, or is it just like doping in cycling? I mean, there will always be some.
I think there will always be part of the game in some ways, but it's the key is to try. I would say to try and fight it, and also get the organizations behind that. Like that's the goal, is to have a clean game, even if you know that it's really hard to achieve it and it may be impossible to achieve. You still have to work for it, because if you accept cheating, like for me, the game is just ruined.
Yeah.
So we just have to fight it, and hopefully we can do quite a bit. And of course it depends where bridge is going. Will there be more online bridge going forward? Will it be, because that's also I don't like that. I like the social part of it a lot. And of course it's a little bit to finding the right balance, I would say, trying to avoid cheating, but at the same time don't ruin the game. Like don't take away the social aspects of it. Don't really make it into a computer game only. So it's tricky. I would just have to, and at some point I guess there will come situations like in 2015 and 2020 that you have to do something, that people have to stand up and try and do something, and hopefully there will come other people going forward that will do it. So it's not have to be the same people doing it over.
I understand you, but I believe that you also already know that we are a lot of bridge players around the world really appreciating the work you've done in this area, because it's in all our interest. Of course it is. So
and that was, I would say, that was the nice part of it, like to be able to do something that I really felt they had like an incredible amount of support from around the world.
That's good.
And I remember just playing in one nationals like just a few months after this had happened, and I think there was a lady there probably in her 80s coming up to me and saying thanks for what you did for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And like and you get such a good feeling when people, you can just tell how much it means to people. And it's not just the professional world, but just for all
that's what. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
So
Okay, Boye, we are about to wrap this talk up a little bit, but as usual, I should say you are our number 2 guest. So as usual, I would like to finish off with a few questions from the random question generator. If you're up for that.
Absolutely.
And I'll just press the button here and see what question pops up. Okay, yeah, this is a fun one, actually. What was your biggest bummer at the bridge table? I mean, we can all remember one or two, right? Do you have a funny story for us?
Well, the first one that popped into my head was there was some during the Norwegian Bridge Festival, we have some prize called the Idiot Prize.
Yeah.
For a while, yeah. And I remember one hand that I got that prize one year, and that was, if I remember right, there was a lead came, and I won that, and I had 8 tricks. So, but it was difficult to see maybe how I could get the 9th trick straight away. And also then it looked like the opponents then had probably had 4 tricks in the suit they had led.
So this was a 3-0 contract or something?
Yeah, this was a 3-0 contract. Yeah. There was a lead. I think I I had 5 cards there, so it looked maybe that I was led from a 5-card suit.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind now, I thought I'll be clever and put them back on lead, just play their suit.
Yeah.
So they now can catch their 4 tricks, and then maybe I can do some maybe squeeze or something in the end there.
Yeah.
But the problem was that the guy I put back on lead had 7 of the suits. So instead of taking 4 tricks, he took 6 tricks.
Yeah.
So, and it's almost whatever else I had done, I would have made the contract because that guy would never get in.
Everything was in place and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay.
So that I remember. So that year I got I got the idiot prize that they had that every year in the Norwegian Bridge Festival. They had that prize for the worst play of to a good player that tried to do something very clever, which just turned out hopelessly. So yeah.
Well, I had a bridge partner once, always claiming that he was the unlucky expert. So okay. Next one is: do you play any games besides bridge? Computer games, other card games, whatever?
I don't play so much now, I would say. I like to play chess a bit.
Mm.
If you think like games, I play those kind of games. I play a bit of football still, but I play chess. I play with my son sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and also with my daughter, who is now turned 7. I started playing a little bit of chess with her. So so chess I like to play, but I'm not good at it. I never read anything about chess. It's just I find it fun. Fun playing. So
your son is also getting good at bridge, right?
Yeah. No, he's a very talented player. He's won the European Championships for the under 16s.
Yeah.
So no. So he has a lot of talent. So we'll see how much time and effort he will put into it. Because of course, if you want to get really good at bridge, you need to put in a lot of work and a lot of hours. Even if you have a good talent, you won't be a top player unless you really
work on it. Yeah, I guess like in all areas of life, right? If you have a big talent for soccer or football, something like that, you also have to work on it. So.
So. So I don't play so much. I must say that my time is a bit, I would say, limited without. I don't have so much time anymore for hobbies and doing other stuff. So when I play something, it's mainly bridge.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the last one then. Okay, if you were to be on an abandoned island for a year, what 3 things would you bring with you? Not persons.
No, not
we
persons.
don't want to make any problems for you.
Well, but I'm just by myself.
You're by yourself. Yeah, it could be a bridge book. It could be something.
Okay, so because I was thinking about a deck of cards, but it's maybe not about just by myself.
You could do the solitaire thing for 6 months.
So no, what would I bring? I would guess I would if I could. Could you bring a computer there? I think I would. It would be if you're totally alone in Ireland. It may be good to try and stay connected in some ways.
Yeah, there might be an internet connection somewhere on that island, right?
So I might want
some Wi-Fi or something.
Bring a computer, and I think I would probably bring maybe a football.
Yeah.
If I'm going to, so I have something to do there, and.
Let me help you on the last one.
I know what I need. I know what I need to bring. I need to bring sun cream.
Yeah.
I would have to bring sun cream unless I would be.
Who knows where that island is, right? But I wanted to help you on the last one. If you were to recommend, if I were to be on that island alone for a year, which bridge book should I bring?
I would say there's. Well, I could do some promotion for myself and say "Bridge at the Edge."
You could do that. Yeah.
So I could do that for you. But I would say that there are a lot of some certain bridge books. Of course, Zia's Bridge My Way is one one book that I like very much, but I think you can almost bring any book, say by Terence Rees, Hugh Kelsey, Kantar. Like there's some British authors that almost all their books you can learn a lot by. So
I like the British book with some good stories in it better than the educational ones.
Yeah, if you liked with a good story, I would definitely say that like Sia's book, Sia Mahmood, Bridge My Way is a really good one.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also the Bridge Bomb, I think, by Alan Sontag.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you like more like as you say, the stories are more important also than just the bridge.
Okay, Boye, I want to thank you very much for taking the time, and I hope that that will be not as much cheating in bridge in the future. So
let's hope for that, Jacob, and let's hope also that bridge now comes back to a little bit more normal life after COVID, and that we can meet around the table again, which I think is a great part of it, to socialize and sit actually four people around the table. That would be, I'm looking forward to that. I think.
Me too. We all miss it so much, don't we? But I guess there's light at the end of the tunnel soon with the vaccines and stuff.
Absolutely.
So
it's fun playing on the internet, but still I must say I enjoy it more when we really sit there with in our flesh.
Yeah. Okay, Boye, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll talk to you some other time maybe.